Hello everybody, this is TSTP Collects. Welcome back for another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Mafex number 223 Daredevil. Back when I was younger, I had one Daredevil figure from the movie in the early 2000s, so I thought, why not? So I got this figure, and let me tell you, it is quickly becoming one of my favorite figures of all time. Yeah, guys, before we crack into this figure, let's just take a quick look at the box. Another thing I'm liking about Mafex, the more I start collecting them, is the boxes. I like collecting the boxes. I get it. You can throw them away. It doesn't matter. I have no intentions of reselling my figures, but you just never know, so why throw them away? So anyway, here's the front of the box. I really love this packaging. Looks so good on the shelf. Artwork on the side there. Looks awesome. Artwork on the back. Looks awesome. And on the side there. Pretty cool. All right, back to the figure, guys. You'll have to excuse my Mesco stand. They just work a lot better than all the other company stands, so just ignore it for now. Let's just take a quick look at the figure and his overall aesthetic before I get into accessories and articulation. One thing I love about this figure is his sculpt. It just works. He's not too skinny. He's not too bulky. I feel like he's just right. His silhouette to me is very heroic, and it's very easy to get him in really, really cool poses without much effort at all. I also want to talk about the paint on this figure. Even though it's only 2 or 3 shades of red, there's shading all throughout the figure to make all the muscles, especially on the back here, pop out really nicely. Even the kind of lipstick red on the boots and the gloves is really good. And the Daredevil insignia up here is embossed or sculpted in and painted well as well. Another thing I want to mention, and I don't think I'm going to bring this up for articulation, is this little piece of engineering right here for the batons. Usually figures will have a peg or something like that to switch out these accessories. With the baton, you get a nice little ball joint, so it works out really well for swapping them out. All right, guys, let's take a quick look at his accessories. All right, guys, so that's all his accessories laid out there. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about are the batons, and the batons actually have a problem, and the problem is paint rub. They almost feel cheap, these batons, from the material they're made of, and since they're solid white, the red of the hands is going to bleed onto this figure pretty bad. I don't know if you can see it. There you can get a good idea of it. Yeah, it's not great. Does it totally ruin the figure? Not at all. Same thing for the other really cool baton accessories. They're turning a little pink now with this white material. But yeah, you get about a foot of wire here that holds up really well in any type of pose you'd like. I like to wrap it around my finger to kind of get it to align and smooth out all the bumps. And then you get one that's like a cane grappling hook that's a little shorter. You get maybe 7 inches out of this. I mentioned earlier that the batons can be swapped out. And that's because you get a ton of options, which is just a beautiful touch. So you have an option to store the batons like so, with 2 of them inside, with 1, and with none. That's really cool. On the figure, you have the 2 standard fist hands. Over here, you have 2 baton holding hands. These aren't going to be able to hold other batons or other staffs from other figures. They're custom to the batons you get with him in package. That's totally fine. Then you have 2 open expressive hands right here. Then you get 2 action gripping hands, 2 relaxed hands, and 2 straightforward palm hands for like running poses, almost like the Flash. And finally, the head sculpts. And I like how Mafex doesn't give you face plates, they give you whole new heads. I actually prefer that over face plates. I think other figure lines should adopt this practice. So you have the neutral face on them right there. So you have this cool teeth gritting face right here. And then you have this open mouth screaming face. I kind of don't like it on principle, just because it's a little overly expressive to me and I don't really display my figures like that. But as far as sculpt goes, they look great and they're painted great. All right, guys, so let's get these accessories out of the way and talk about articulation. As for articulation, I'm not the biggest Daredevil fan, but I definitely know the basics of Daredevil, and articulation is going to have to be a knockout for the best Daredevil, or the contender for the best Daredevil. And you know what? Mafex knocked it out of the park. His head can look up that far. His head looks down that much, side to side like so. So you can get a ton of expression from the head. Down at the arms, you get these butterflies down here, which move in even better than some amazing Yamaguchis. And arguably, the sculpt and design is better than theirs too. Over here at the shoulder as well, you can move the arm in a 360 fashion like so. It'll go up about that much. Down here at the bicep, you have a swivel, works fine. At the elbow, you have a double joint, works flawlessly. Down here, you have a wrist peg that allows any which movement you want. Down at this torso, this first joint right here, he'll move forward that much, which is pretty good. He'll move back a lot further. Combining the waist joint with that, he'll move forward about that much, which is pretty good. He'll move back that much. I'm not sure what companies are doing with articulating backwards more than forwards. That could just be my personal preference. Maybe some people like this more than I realize, but that's just my opinion. Okay, down here at the legs, you do have drop downs. Legs can kick up about that much, so better than 90. They will kick out and do the splits like so. There is thigh swivel, just not enough thigh swivel like a Marvel Legends, but more than enough for posing. Down here at the knee, you have a really good looking double joint. The boots do not swivel, but down here at the ankles, they swivel, they hinge up, down. You get a ton of pivot, and of course, toe articulation. So yeah, guys, what can I say? He's a knockout. In almost every regard, he's a home run. This figure is very expensive, so I want to keep that in mind when I give him my rating. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I want to give him a 9. He's almost perfect in every which way. The reason why I take a point off is because it's a really expensive figure and it's not really available to everyone, especially in the aftermarket. The price is just going to get higher and higher. In spite of that, do I recommend you guys get this guy? Definitely pick him up if you can. He's awesome. You're going to have a ton of fun with this figure. So let's move on to some size comparisons from all the figure lines that I collect. Here he is with 2 Marvel Legends Daredevils, or actually no, Daredevil and Elektra. Something interesting that I like to do with this figure and this figure is do a head swap. Check out how it looks. Obviously, this head is not meant for a ball joint that small. However, it does kind of slip on to the neck like so and will function for posing and otherwise. Doesn't that look cool, guys? The paints even match. So yeah, guys, that's how these look with Marvel Legends, and the Mafex is actually a smidge taller. It's a really good scaling. I like it. This is how Daredevil looks with 2 other Mafex figures. This actually makes me think about how Bucky is way smaller than I'd like him to be. I don't know if I want him to be taller or wider or whatever, but this Mafex Bucky is almost perfect, except he's just kind of tiny. Here's Daredevil with some McFarlanes that I have laying around. Here's Daredevil with some SH figure arts. And finally, here's Daredevil with some amazing Yamaguchi spider people. And yes, I definitely consider Flash Thompson a spider person. It's kind of obvious. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. That'll do it for my review of the Mafex Daredevil. What do you guys think of this figure? Is he worth picking up in spite of the price? Personally, I think he's a masterpiece. I say you should get him. This has been TSTP Collects. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. And yeah, take care. Have a great day, guys. Bye.